look big.
What's up, everybody? You guys want to hang out, have a conversation with my virtual solar all-star friends? Be back in 30 seconds. Let's go. We are live. What's up, everybody? Thanks for being here on a special webinar, Virtual Solar Businesses Unveiled. This is something where I was getting a lot of questions about where should I work virtually? Which companies are good? Should I do it? How does it work? Do I get leads? And I said, you know what? Why not let the world know the virtual all-star friends I have and what they're doing, and maybe we can help them out. But this is not a competition, everybody. We're not here trying to say who's better and this, that. I look at it as everybody has their own tools and benefits that can help particular people. And this is not us or saying that this is better than anything else, like better than door knocking or better. This is another complement, another tool that people could put in their artillery is the best way to look at it. So for me, I'm really excited to have these guys. These guys are amazing. And I'm really proud of what they're doing. So I want to share the stage with them and let them know what's going on. So I'm going to bring up one by one my virtual all-star friends. The first one I see is Carlos Villanueva with remote.
What's going on? What's going on?
Sales Talk with Solar Pros, killing it virtually, traveling the world. Where are you at right now, Carlos?
Dude, so we're here at a mansion. We've been filming content with some friends from Arkansas, from Natural Energy. So they came out here. It's been the last 3 days. It's been like, it's pretty nuts. Teaching them all about remote sales. We're at the top of the hill. It's amazing weather, getting a little chilly, but really excited to be here, my man. Thanks for the invite.
Yeah, man, your story is inspirational. I want to definitely get you on here and share a few words. But next, we got Miss Melissa Dawson with Online Solar Experts, who has been selling virtually and recruiting virtually for many years because she had to, living in Idaho. What's up, Melissa?
Hey, I'm doing awesome. Pretty pumped up to be here with all of my fellow online solar virtual warriors.
She gone.
Let's go. And then next we got my boy Josh King in the house, Sunivo.com, Virtual Solar Club, and Solar Villa. We're going to Dominican Republic in a couple of weeks. Let's go.
Yeah, buddy. Doing well.
Let's go. All right, and we got my boy Peter Roth with the Virtual Virtuoso. Really is one of the first guys who's talked about selling solar virtually in a box. And really give it a system where solar pros can start selling solar right from home. Peter, thanks for being on here, bro.
Man, thank you for having me. I'm just excited to be here.
Let's go. And then we got Jake Wilson, who I've known for many years. So smart, so intelligent. He's been selling solar for many years. He's in real estate, mortgages, building, real estate. Like this guy does it all. I'm really excited to have him on here. What's up, Jake?
Hey, what's up, Joe? Thanks so much for having me here, and it's an honor to be with this panel of amazing solar people in the solar industry.
And you are one of those amazing people, so I appreciate you, man. Speaking of amazing people, we got Dillon Denha. Okay, so I got to tell everybody, this is my boy. I have this special place in my heart. This guy was actually one of our students at the Solar Academy. And he had such an amazing background in call centers and mortgages, and he was already experienced and killing it. But he said, you know what? Let me just try another industry. He came into the solar industry like a sponge, trying to learn as much as possible, trying to use and implement in his game and seeing things worked and didn't work and try something else. And now he is absolutely crushing it with his call center. This is amazing. We're selling, what is it? Solarremotely.com.
Sellsolarremotely.com. Yes, sir. This reminds me of when me and you used to get on these Wednesday Solar Academy calls. Every Wednesday, man. Never missed.
Hell yeah, baby. Appreciate you. Excited to hear your story. Then we got Jess Reagan is here with Gamify. Really excited to have him on here. I wanted him on here because there's a whole virtual solar underworld competitions and gamifying going on that people don't know about. So, Jess, thanks for being on here, man.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
And then we got last but not least, Garrett Mendelsohn, who I just met this year, who's actually trying to sell solar to my aunt. I just found out from across the country, but he's been doing amazing selling solar virtually. He has the really excited to talk about esports and competitions that he's going to really talk about. So really excited to have you on here, Garrett.
Hey, what's up, everyone? Thanks for having me.
All right, guys. So quickly, before we get into it, what the plan is we're going to do a few questions with the panel. Then we're going to go into individually looking at these platforms behind the scenes, actually sharing the screen and showing exactly what their platform looks like and how it works. So if you guys are interested, stay tuned. Let's go. So I want to start with a panel questions and kind of just get everybody's thoughts on certain popular questions that I've been getting from a lot of people. So I figured let's get it from the horse's mouth. Does that sound good? All right. So the first question, let's go with ladies first. Let's go Melissa Dawson. Here's the first question. I want to be able to see if you can answer for us. What type of person should be selling solar virtually anyway? What do you think?
All right. So selling virtual is a person that really wants to live their life by design, that wants that location freedom, like Carlos just said, he's out of the country right now. I know Josh on here has been traveling all around the world, that person that really wants life by design, location freedom, and time freedom. And they've got that big burning desire. Now, on top of that, they need 3 mindsets. The first one is they need a warrior mindset. Okay. We are all solar warriors. We are one of the few industries that has 2 major red tapes against us. 1, the utilities, right? Number 2 is bureaucracy. We're up against the AHJs, we're up against the utilities, but we go to battle for our homeowners every day to help them get their energy independence and lock in their energy rate. All right. Now, number 2, they've got to have a winning mindset. What's a winning mindset? It's that coachable. Like you just said with Dillon, he was like a sponge in the Solar Academy. He had that willingness to learn. If somebody's going in Josh or Jake or Peter's program, that they're going to listen and say, when somebody says, you got to adjust your script, dude, you got to listen. Okay. On top of that, they've got to be self-tracking. Okay. They got to know what is their goal, what KPIs do they need to hit, and who's going to hold them accountable for their KPIs. Is it them? Is it their accountability partner? Or is it somebody that they hire as a coach, So those are super important. And then on top of that, they have got to be an unstoppable mindset. They've got to know their why. Why did they get in this industry? Why did they say yes to this invitation to do this? Why did they do that? And then that way, when the no's are coming, because it's a solar coaster. Some days are good, some days are bad, that they're going to have that commitment that they made to themselves or their accountability partner of why they got in this business, and they're going to stick to it because they have committed to being unstoppable. So that's it. 3 mindsets to be successful and what kind of person it needs to be for this business.
I love that. And it sounds like opportunity. It's a great opportunity that if you just look at it, it might be good for you, right? Like just check it out. I love that. So next I got a question for Jake Wilson. Jake, are you there, my friend?
I'm here.
Right. So this is the question for you. Should solar pros combine conventional and digital, right? Like they can sell solar physically and they can sell it virtually, but is it something you have to choose one or the other, or can they combine it?
I mean, you could always choose one or the other. That's definitely a method. I look at it very much how it was right before COVID, where there was a lot of people that were doing a lot of door-to-door, and that was all they did. But then once COVID happened, your entire business model shuts down overnight. If you're doing home shows, if you're doing BNI groups, or if you're doing all these things, and then all of a sudden you can't meet in person or something could happen, well, then now you can't do that anymore. So how do you able to pivot? And that's the real key is it depends on what somebody wants. You can find your medium. Do you like being, going out and networking in person with people? Do you prefer doing more virtual hangouts and meetings? You don't have to choose one or the other, but you find what works for you. But the key is you have to have multiple streams of lead generation sources And again, it depends. I know Melissa, where she lives in Idaho, it's not like she can do a whole lot locally. So for her, she has to do a little bit more virtually. So she's forced to expand her reach just because she can't go. Like I'm in Denver, I can go to a Chamber of Commerce meeting. I can go to a lot of different events and meetup groups because they're here all the live long day. So it depends on what kind of lifestyle you want to live. I mean, if you want to live on the road and live in a van and travel and skydive in between appointments, you can do that. But then you have to build your business model accordingly, and you can go to each of these different places that you're at and build local relationships if you're traveling and doing that. So I've always found finding a way of doing both will open up a lot more doors and give you a lot more opportunity for leads that you wouldn't have just doing digital or just doing conventional.
I love
So
that.
it's really all about balance, Joe.
No, you nailed it on the head. I appreciate that. I just want to keep moving along because we got 90 minutes jam-packed, and we got a lot of tips and nuggets to drop. So I'm going to keep on moving along. Carlos, Villanueva, are you there, my boy?
What's going on? What's going on?
Yo, bro, like virtual is not perfect. It's not for everybody. Like, what are some like the pros and cons? Let's talk about some of the negatives going virtual.
Yeah, man. Look, if I was warned at the very beginning on a lot of the cons when I first got into remote solar, it would have really scared me, right? So I'm going to break it down. I'm going to go through the cons first, and I'll go through the positives. So with the cons, it can get lonely because you're doing it by yourself. You can spend, you can get into your own head doing it at home as well. So, you're facing rejection. You're making hundreds of phone calls depending on, the method that you're doing. But if you don't have the right people around you, don't have the right community, then you can get negged out and, 2-3 days goes past, you don't have a result, and then you're going back on the doors, right? The second thing is it can be capital intensive. In fact, it is capital intensives. So if you're on the doors right now and you're not doing very well, don't even think about, living the remote lifestyle. It's not going to work because you need to have money for leads. You need to have money for a dialer. You need to have money for a CRM. You need to have money for, like the whole system, the whole back end. It takes money. And if you don't already have money, this is not going to put money in your pocket, right? This is something that you graduate towards. The third thing is it's going to take a mindset shift. When I first closed my first remote deal, I had to literally leave everything on the table. And like if I didn't close it, there was no option to go to the customer's home, right? So I literally had to either like burn the lead. You know what I mean? Like I'm going to close it now or I'm never going to speak to this customer ever again. There's no option to drive to the customer's house to close it later. In terms of the pros, like this is like I will never go back on the doors, not because I don't like the doors, but because of the lifestyle that remote allows me to do in solar.
That's a nice place
and
you're
also
staying at right now. I see it.
Yeah, thanks, man.
It's not a virtual background. That's the real backdrop, by the way.
Yeah, it's not the show.
Yeah, this is a place rented out by some friends that have come down from Arkansas. So we've been filming content, all that good stuff. But some of the pros. So no physical location. I haven't like been in one place for longer than 6 months. Although that sounds like that's a long time for me to be in one place. But within that one place, I get to visit different cities. Second thing is more time for health and the gym. While I was on the doors, I had time to go to the gym, but I didn't go because I spent a lot of like 100% of my time on the doors. Now I can, literally just like walk down or go down the lift, go across the road. I hit the gym for an hour and I've still got like 99% of my day to, continue selling. Another thing is relationships. Before I went remote, I was in a 7-year relationship, but it was not good because I spent 90% of my time selling and working on the business and not involving them. Now, like that I'm remote, I get to spend time with my beautiful girlfriend over here. While I'm selling, she's literally next to me and it's like we're doing it together, right? And lastly, like we only live once. So, what if, you didn't have the same opportunity to do the things that when you were growing up, you truly wanted to do, which is visit different countries, visit family across the world, visit different locations. By being remote, I get to do all that, like literally whenever I want with who I want.
You know, I love that. You know what? Since he's saying that, go ahead, everybody. Put in the comments. Where are you guys watching from? Where's the city? What state you're from? And also put like, where do you want to work from? Put both. Where are you from, and where do you want to work from? And we're actually going live from Solar Objections Facebook group, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter, even Twitch, because we got esports on here, so we gotta go to Twitch too, right? And so go ahead, throw it in there, throw in the comments where you guys from, where you watching from, and where you want to work from. All right. So next on the list, we have who's next here? Peter Roth. Let's go. So talk to us, Peter. Tell us about the ease and the feasibility of like, is it really practical? Is it all like sounds too good to be true? Talk to us, Peter.
First of all, Carlos, you nailed it on the head with what you said. That's why I was like really emphatically pointing at my camera over and over again, because what you said, I think, is like superbly important for people to pay attention to. That no matter what I say, like it is, there is a cost associated with going virtual. So like exactly what Carlos said, like unless you've really dialed in your game reasonably well enough, you should still be on the doors, or you should still be doing some form of lead gen and acquisition that doesn't require you to spend a lot of money. Because to really do virtual right, whether you're doing kind of like a Cadillac program like I tend to do, or whether you're doing more of a DIY type thing, it's still going to cost you a decent amount of money, no matter how you cut it. So you should expect to have, a cost per acquisition of $1,500, maybe lower if you're lucky, right? I mean, if you're breaking 1,000, you're an absolute rock star. But you need to start budgeting for these sort of things. There is a sharp learning curve with going virtual. No matter who, if someone tells you otherwise, they're probably doing a little bit of a disservice for you, and they're probably trying to coerce you into something. But going virtual does require a lot of deliberate steps. You have to take very deliberate action and plan it out in advance. You don't just want to just drop the doors one day and then decide, that's it, I'm going virtual, because it's like, okay, well, tell me about your game plan, because there's so many steps involved with going virtual. I mean, I can spend an hour just talking about that, but you need to figure out, where am I going to get my leads? How am I going to manage those leads? What is my pitch going to be like? How am I going to follow up and nurture them when inevitably someone cancels or needs to reschedule, and all that good kind of stuff? You have to have some phenomenal tools and systems in place that better be extraordinarily well dialed in. Don't just go out there and find some dude in Pakistan who built out a cheap copy of GHL and sold it to you for $100. I mean, you get what you pay for. Okay. Everyone and their mother out there has some cheap version of GHL. And I'm not bashing GHL, by the way, because I love GHL, but I'm saying that everyone and their mother has a version of it. So be very cautious with who you go to, because most of them are complete and total garbage. And if you don't know what you're looking for, you're going to be a victim of that. And then you're going to waste money and time's money. And it's just going to become this vicious circle. And next thing you know, you're one of those guys who quits the solar industry. I don't want to see that happening to people. That's why I developed my program, which is to create a business in a box, because I want people to experience that quick success so that they're actually excited and motivated to keep going. To keep going.
And I'm excited to see your virtual show, Business in a Box. So we're going to actually get to that very shortly here. But I wanted to get one more question. I appreciate you going to that, because we have to make sure we have the right expectations, right? We can't tell people, oh yeah, get on a computer or just sit there for a couple hours. You'll make so much money. Like, this is not for everybody. Not everybody can do it. There's going to be that 20-80 rule. Like, that still all applies, but it's way better opportunity than it was just even a couple of years ago. And that's really the exciting part to me. But I got one more question, and then I'm going to go to Josh King to go over his Sunevo program, which I'm sure he's excited to share. But one more question I want to get with Dillon Denha. Dillon, you were started in the call center world and mortgages, and you get into the solar world. This is like the last year, and now you're crushing it. How is it? It's like, how do people tap into this? Like, there's so much, like just us here. There's like 9 of us here that's doing virtual solar, right? How do people actually tap into this vast online solar world?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it was really just a matter of taking advantage of the internet and what's available out there. So, it all goes hand in hand with what exactly it is that we're doing. Everything that we do is remote, and it's all powered by the internet. How I got involved was simply through finding a Facebook group online, shooting Joe a message, asking if he could help me out. And then the ball started rolling forward. And there is a lot of walls and barriers that you're going to have to knock down, just like you would with any other business. But the ability to, be able to figure things out and having the internet right at your fingertips, especially today with like the power of AI and, all of these Facebook groups that we're all a part of, everybody is just a message away. So although there are a lot of barriers to figuring things out, if you can be like strategic in your approach and connect with the right people, there's no reason why you shouldn't be able to get to the finish line. I mean, I came in knowing absolutely nothing about it. Joe told me, give yourself about 6 months, stay consistent. And by that time you should be closing. It took me more like 8 or 9 months, but again, just staying focused, staying locked in, and using your resources to your advantage is a great way. If you do that, there's no reason why you can't excel in this industry.
I love that. And I think Josh could agree in a lot of that. So what I'm going to do, I really appreciate Dillon. And if you guys want to connect with Dillon Denha, sellsolarremotely.com. I can tell you, you can trust him. He's a good guy. He knows his shit, and he's there to help people. But everybody here is the same way. Jake Wilson, Carlos Villanueva, Peter Roth, Melissa Dawson, Josh King. They're all people I trust, and that's why they're on here. And I know they take care of you. Jess Reagan and Garrett Mendelsohn too. Garrett is a little newer, so you can't 100%. I'm just joking. Garrett too. You can't. Of course, he's doing esports. You gotta trust him too. But I'm gonna bring on Josh King. I want him to really get into this now. Like, get into the nitty gritty, Josh. Like, let's figure out. Let people know how this stuff really works. This is your stage. Please represent. Let people know. Sunevo.com.
Sure. I'll try to keep it quick. I know you're on timeline. You know how much I like to talk. Okay. I'm going to take 1 minute just to give a background about VSC and Sunevo. A lot of people know about Virtual Solar Club. We were born as an education resource platform. And we started at that, massive course library. I'll get into what that looks like in a sec. Sunevo, which can be confusing as times, is a software project that we started about 2 years ago. It was really meant to provide one login solution for absolutely everything remote solar sales. I'll jump into that. And so the combination of Virtual Solar Club and Sunevo is really my baby, the culmination of my decade in remote solar sales on the community, the resource, the training aspect, to the software aspect, and then fulfillment and installation. So that's a bit of background. And recently we've really put things together in a really easily digestible way. And the goal for us is we're not, purposely specifically going for people that are already in solar. We're planning for the big wave of people that are going to move into solar. My big goal is to enable people to live that remote solar sales lifestyle that lots of us on the call here have. But specifically people that are just moving into solar right now, and give them that option. And I think software and platform and training is a big piece to that. So, okay, I got about 8.5 minutes left. I'll try to do the quickest demo of Sunevo and VSC I've ever done in my life. So I'll jump into, let's take a peek here, Sunevo, and we'll kick things off. So can we see my screen? Am I good there? There we go. So look, like I mentioned, Sunevo is a software. It is a software. It is your sales. It is your scheduling. It is your fulfillment, your installation, your commission reports, your team management, your analytics, your dialing, your lead sources, all of the nitty gritty, everything other than your community and your training and your support structures. So really quickly, Sunevo is one login. We have absolutely every single integrated tool and resources necessary inside the platform. Going from top to bottom, I'll spend a bit more time on certain aspects, but leads, CRM, analytics, tracking, your basic functionality of a CRM, your pipeline, your pre-sale pipeline, which is automatically moves front to back from lead all the way to a signed deal. And then your post-sale pipeline, I'll show it a bit later. Your scheduling system, imagine Calendly, but on steroids and specifically built for solar. You have different events, custom events availability. If you're running a team, you can build custom events and assign certain team members to specific events. Each calendar will have a URL that your appointment setters can book into, a properly built out schedule. And then in your scheduling, you can also keep track of your analytics, your outcomes per appointment, which are used later for a lot of different things. And also your fulfillment. So Sunevo is not just a CRM or sales tool. We have a highly vetted install network. I run a national EPC. for many, many years in Australia. So we've done a lot of work to really bring together the best of the best, specifically local installers around the country, to provide fulfillment as well. Meaning that you don't need to log into 5 different solo accounts or open solar or all these different things. You have, we're getting close to a national install network, but all really, really highly vetted local installers. So you get the picture. You design your system, very, very simple system design here, which is on purpose. Pumping out your offsets, your production values, move into your building out your financing, run your financing, get your installation documents signed from the customer, submit your job, get all that fun stuff. You guys know the drill. If you've ever sold solar before, all of this looks relatively similar. You know what a normal deal looks like, generating your monthly values, sending customers installation agreements, financing agreements. That's really the fulfillment side of it, right? So we put a ton of effort into that. We're constantly building out new finance partner integrations, adding different options here and there, but it really just enables someone to jump in and on the fulfillment side, have a wide breadth of being able to move into any market in the US, while at the same time having the comfort and quality of local installers, right? So that's the fulfillment aspect to it. Let's see, a ton of stuff, right? Automations. We have a full Zapier build out that you can connect any app under the sun to Cenevo with. We have obviously your communication tools, so your SMS tools. We've also just launched our multi-dialer, which I'll get into in a sec. Your post-sale project tracking, you get the picture. We also just released our payroll systems, commission reports, track your commissions and your team's commissions. And if you're an appointment setter, track your revenue shares of different jobs right in the platform. Your teams, your analytics, your leaderboards. We have a full resource section with the utility provider database that you can jump into, search by the state or by the utility provider to find net metering policies, to find different rebates, all this fun stuff that we got going on. Let's see, I got 6 minutes left. Okay. I'll jump into the training in a sec. 2 big things that we're really focusing on right now is the ease of access to high quality leads in a very controlled ecosystem. So we just launched a beta of our new performance program. We've broken it down in very, very simple steps. It's not just a lead program. You can immediately access to outbound leads, which are age leads, cold leads, or inbound leads, exclusive leads. Very simple in Cenevo. You click one button, you enroll. For your outbound, you immediately get access to a multi-dialer campaign, which I'll show in a sec, which has unlimited age leads and cold leads. And you just start dialing. It's a flat monthly fee. And you start rocking. We also have additional training every single week on how to hit those specific types of leads. And then our inbounds, you jump in, boom, you get to start getting exclusive inbound leads, no retainers, nothing, just a flat per lead basis directly integrated to your dialer in Cenevo. And you also get very intensive training, customer facing brands, analytics on the leads that are coming through, and really, really strong support structure on how to hit those leads. So, our goal is always ease of use. Josh, how do I start selling virtually in 5 minutes? Sweet. Jump into the outbound lead program, jump onto the dialer, and start calling leads, right? The training and the support structures and stuff I'll get into in a sec, very, very important. But in the nitty gritty, the leads, the tech, the dialer, the software, the platform, the installers, we really just tried to go, okay, boom, there it is, all one login, ready to rock. We just launched our new multi-dialer, completely integrated into the system as well. Made it a bit gamified. I know we have some gamification gurus on the call as well. Tracking your daily calls. We have certain rewards and credit systems. When you hit your daily goal or book certain appointments, you get your credits back. You get some sort of incentive after you hit your goals on the dialer. For those of you who've never done virtual before, multi-dialer, as I think Carlos was, it's one of the most fundamental, important tools to everything there. I think, there we go. It wasn't sharing my tab, but that's a little portal of like the dialing. You can see the gamification, the meters going up. You get that adrenaline rush. Cool. I need, 200 more calls, 300 more calls until I hit my daily goal. Full preview dialer, completely auto dialer. Our lead programs are integrated into it. So your leads go directly to your dialer. You don't have to worry about spreadsheets or anything. Completely automated and integrated, which is really, really exciting. Probably the quickest demo of Cenevo I've ever done. And then additionally, the entirety of Virtual Solar Club's community and training resources are accessible just by clicking this training icon. Let's see if I can move my tab over. And then you jump into the Virtual Solar Club training portal. We got Matthew McConaughey here saying hello to us. Someone's posted that with just a massive training library of remote solar sales courses. I think we're nearing on 450 hours of training content at this point. We have our event schedule. We're doing more than one live training session every single day now, focusing on appointment setting, closing. We have power hours where people get together and cold call or close appointments together on Zoom calls and on video conferencing together to sort of minimize the loneliness that Carlos was talking about earlier, and just a ton of discussion forums that people jump into, ask, engage. And as Carlos said, I probably couldn't say it any better, man. If you're selling remote and you have those four walls around you, it is soul sucking. So you need community, you need people around you to help you, to ask questions, to come to, live training sessions every day and get call reviews done. So we've really just tried to say, okay, cool, one platform, there you go, for that guy that's moving into virtual and moving into solar, and just give them absolutely everything they need in one login, ready to go, start rocking, incentivized to crush it, and give them the community and the support and the training to do so. So I don't know how long I went there. I lost track of time, but that's a very quick rundown of everything.
Bro, that's why I wanted you on here. It's amazing what you're doing. And if you guys don't know, Josh is one of the best trainers I've ever seen. He can literally train on subjects for hours and give you details and analytics and like reasoning. He has the other markets in his brain too. So he knows Australia. He's from Canada. Like he really is virtual around the world. So Josh, I really appreciate it. So last question for you, the $1 million question. How much is it?
Great question. We have a $500 onboarding fee, and then a solo account is $99 a month.
You heard it here first. $500. You can start your own virtual solar business with Josh King with leads and a CRM and software. Amazing. Let's go. Appreciate you, Josh.
There we go.
All right. Next up, if you guys like that, go ahead, put some comments. You guys like seeing the behind the scenes of these platforms? You guys want to see more of this? Go ahead, put in the comments. I know you guys are getting this stuff in. There we go. All right. So next we got Peter Roth. Let's go. Like I said earlier, Peter's actually one of the first people that came to me and talking about virtual solar business in a box and how it works, and like passionate and excited about it. So I'm really excited to see the behind the scenes of what Peter's been working on. Peter, are you ready?
Yes, sir. Of course. Absolutely. Thank you again for having me here. Thank you, Josh. By the way, I love everything that you do. I was a paying client of Virtual Solar Cup for a long time. So you got some great stuff, man. I really appreciate it. Okay. Let me share my screen here. Okay. Share screen. Oh boy. If this is going to cooperate with me. There we go. Okay. Can you see my screen? Can everyone see my screen? Hello, hello.
Yes, you're good to go. Sorry,
Perfect. Awesome. Great. Okay. Sorry about that. Okay. Terrific. So, all right. So, Virtual Virtuoso is a program that I built several years ago, kind of in response to the experience that I was having as a solar pro, which is to say that it was very lackluster. And I was suffering from a lot of the same things that everybody out there is suffering from as well. Got ripped off a lot, had a lot of terrible experiences, and just really wasn't finding my foothold. So let me tell you just a little bit about myself, first of all. Blow up the screen here. So I've been in the solar space now for quite some time. I started SolarWise a while back, turned that into a 7-figure company. I owned an HVAC company for many, many years, exited out of that for 7 figures as well. While I was in the HVAC space, I turned into a lead gen specialist because I was doing leads for HVAC companies as well around the country. Then I've kind of turned into a marketing and sales trainer in the HVAC space, and then transitioned that into solar as well. So that's just a little bit about me and my background. Okay. Let me tell a little bit about the fundamentals of what the traditional lead gen versus what the Virtual Virtuoso program is. So as you can see here, kind of on the top bullet point there, with traditional lead gen companies, what you'll typically find is that they really don't have much in the way of tools or systems for you at all. Versus us, we had $1 million round of private equity investment about a year ago from the same private equity investor that bought out our HVAC company, and we invested about $100,000 of that into our software development, in addition to the other components such as the call center, all that fun stuff. The next major thing that you'll see is a huge difference is that with traditional lead gen companies, there really is no training, and there is definitely no sales expertise or mentorship. versus with Virtual Virtuoso. And what we do is you're going to get world-class expert sales training and mentorship. So I take my clients incredibly seriously. I work with I only onboard 4 clients per month. So like I said, this is kind of like a Cadillac program. I only bring on 4 clients per month. I refuse to do any more than that. I spend an inordinate amount of time hand-holding each client to make sure that they're incredibly comfortable and confident closing sales. So it's a very quick program. It's not designed to take a month or 2 to get you comfortable. We literally want to be able to crank people out in less than a week from someone who knows absolutely nothing about solar and turn them into a solar killer pro in less than a week, typically more like 3 to 4 days. Now, the other big difference that you see with traditional lead gen companies is that they have no skin in the game. And what that means is that versus us, where we do guaranteed sits. And you'll hear this term being thrown around quite a bit, right? Guaranteed sits really is sort of the pinnacle quality when it comes to lead gen or in the appointment setting space. But there's a big difference between guaranteed sits and just buying appointments. And the difference is having skin in the game. And what you'll hear oftentimes with traditional lead gen companies is when you go and you ask them for leads and you give them your money and then they hand you the bucket of leads. And you're going to see it all over the internet, right? You're going to Google or you're going to search these various other lead gen companies to find out, see reviews on them. And you're going to see a lot of terrible reviews. And it's not that they're bad companies. I'm not here to badmouth other companies. There's typically nothing wrong with them. But the big problem is they have no skin in the game. Okay. When we do guaranteed sits, now the burden of making sure that these appointments are high quality is on us and not you. So what you're not going to hear is finger pointing, blaming you that you didn't call the leads enough time, right? This is what a very common thing that you're going to tend to hear in this space is, well, he didn't call them enough times, right? You're going to hear he didn't call them 20 times. But with us, it's very different because you're getting guaranteed sits. So it's really the onus and the burden is on us to make sure that client actually appears and shows up for the appointment. We currently have a 60 to 65% show rate. I'm incredibly and wildly proud of that because I came from the numbers weren't always that good. It took us a really long time, a lot of pain and suffering and a lot of money flushed down the drain to get to that point. So that's a little bit about the fundamentals. Let me show you just kind of the quick little bullet points as to what kind of separates us and what makes this program so unique. So like I mentioned, these are guaranteed sits. All of your no-shows will be replaced. We take it even a little step further than that. We allow you to keep all your no-shows. It's like a free lead. Okay, so if someone no-shows on you, we got to replace it for you. If that one no-shows, we got to replace it again. But guess what? You get to keep all these as a free lead. It's huge because that serves to expand your pipeline. We're like building out your pipeline with all those no-shows. This sounds weird, but those are actually some of the best quality appointments because these are typically people that are very interested in solar, but it's typically like a mom taking her kid, taking her kids to soccer, and she was, she's driving with one hand, putting on makeup with the other, and you called her and she answered the phone. She is interested in solar. She booked the appointment, but she wasn't even listening to what you're saying because her kids are screaming in the back, so she no-shows. She's very interested. We just caught her at a bad time. When we rebook her, that's actually some of the highest quality leads that we're seeing. So you get to keep all those leads. So we help to really expand your pipeline in a very dramatic way. Okay. The next thing, we're going to be booking your virtual appointments in typically almost any state. Now, let's be honest, not any state, right? We're looking for the states that are best, right? I usually kind of compare us to like a fly fishing guide, right? You can be a really great fly fisherman, but if you don't know where the fish are, you're not going to catch anything. Our job is to put you where the fish are. Okay, so we know where solar sells best. And this is part of the reason why we have a 65% sit rate. Next, you'll have full access to our entire call center. I've been in the call center business for now almost 10 years. So I know the call center business very, very well. I've made all the mistakes that anybody could possibly make with call center management from, overseas places and just trying to save money. Now everything is done 100% in-house and 100% the United States. Nothing beats it. So that's our call center. You'll have full access to them. They're going to do a lot of things for you. Not only are they going to be booking all of your appointments for you, they're also going to be rebooking all of those no-shows. Remember the ones that I told you get to keep for free? They're going to be rebooking those back onto your calendar. And when we rebook one of those onto your calendar, it's like a free lead. It's a free appointment. Okay, and you're going to get a lot of those because, like I said, your pipeline is going to keep getting fuller and fuller with all those no-shows. Okay, they're going to be rebooking all of your no-shows, all of your cancellations, and anyone who's ever been ghosting you. And in case you're wondering, isn't that pretty much the definition of what a pipeline is, right? So now you've got an entire team of highly trained agents managing your entire pipeline for you, so that now you've got the time to actually go out and do what's important, which is close deals. Okay. You will also get a private solar concierge. This person is dedicated to do one task and one single-minded task only. Their job is to go through your pipeline, top to bottom, every single day and look for leads that slip through the cracks. This is a huge problem because anyone who's familiar with CRMs knows that leads slip through the cracks all the time. And this is a huge money drain. Everyone is losing tons and tons of money to these leads that are slipping through the cracks because it's hard to keep up when you've got hundreds or thousands of leads that you're trying to imagine. No matter how good your automations are, no matter how good your software is, no matter how good your AI is, you need a human to do this. Trust me, we do it all. Okay. Next is our AI marketing and CRM platform that we use. Like I mentioned, when we got our $1 million round of investment, we took almost 100,000 of that, and we hired expert developers in the GHL community to build out our software for us. So it is the furthest thing. Imagine, I'll show you here on the next screen. It's the furthest thing of what you would think of what GHL is. I'll show you what $100,000 does for you. Next, because of that money that we invested into our software, we're now able to spit out 2.5 referrals per year per client that you put in there. So you sell a deal, we spit out 2.5 more deals for you. So talk about, getting ROI in your investment. You close one deal, that turns into 2.5 per client. Okay. And then last, of course, is the expert sales training, the scripts, and the mentorship. I don't want to get too much into the details here about training and scripts because I could also talk about that for a really long time. But suffice it to say, we provide you with a highly tactical script. This is not a script based in theory. This is a script that's battle tested and that we've used a lot and that we're constantly developing. And I'm right there in the trenches with you guys, by the way. I'm not just sitting here managing from the top. I'm selling solar right there with you guys. So I'm always testing out my own script. So when I'm doing training sessions and I'm doing recordings, I'm reading my script word for word because I need to be able to prove it to my clients that my script can be read word for word and close deals left and right. So when you hear me closing deals, I'm literally reading my own script word for word. Okay. Next. In case you're wondering, if anyone has ever seen, what a back-end workflow looks like in high level, you probably know it doesn't look like this, right? So this is what a whole lot of money gets you when you spend a whole shit ton of money with high level developers. So we invested a ton of money in there. It's too hard to see here, but all those little red boxes that say webhook. So we're built in with probably 4 or 5 other pieces of software as well. So it's not just high level. And then last but not least, if you guys want to book a demo, go to millionairesolarpro.com. There's the website there on the top. I can walk you through all the different packages that we've got. We've got packages. Josh, I know you're going to ask me how much it costs. I'm just going to go ahead and preempt and go ahead and give you some answers. I'm going to tell you right now, we are not the cheapest thing in the world, but we are the cheapest when it comes to performance, right? Cheap is a matter of interpretation. We may not be the cheapest cost-wise, but we are the highest value that you will ever find. Okay, so book a, whoops, just restarted there for a quick second. Sorry about that. Let me switch back here. So if you go to Millionaire Solar Pro, you can book a demo right there, and you're also going to get $500 off. So you're not going to have to pay the startup cost, the actual starter cost. So book a demo, Millionaire Solar Pro. Anyone who books a demo anytime this week will get that $500 removed. Okay, thanks, guys.
Beautiful. And yeah, that is amazing. And that's what a virtual solar business in a box is right there. You get everything you need to really get going. But what is there a cost? I know there's $500 off. I want to have practical, like they know what it costs to start up. Like, well, practically, what would it be for them?
Yeah. So the lowest package will typically start right around the $5,000 mark, but that's including, right? I don't want anyone to get shocked by these numbers because I realize that's, but you have to understand what it includes, right? So this is including appointment setting and all the leads and everything is already included in this, right? No guesswork, no nothing. You literally don't have to do a darn thing. It's like you put in your money and the engine just starts. Right. So that's the beauty of this. It goes high. I mean, we've got teams and we've got dealerships and sales orgs that are spending over $100,000 a month. So, but for individual solar pros starts at $5,000.
That's what I love about this, because there's different opportunities for different people for what they need, their budgets, what they're looking for. And this is another one. And I appreciate you being on here, Peter, to go over it and really being transparent with your system. It's awesome, man. Yes, a lot of good comments too. But I want to keep moving along because I want to get the next one up on here. Jake Wilson. And Jake, I've been friend of mine for many years, and he is a super experienced solar pro. But I wanted him on not only for that, but really to go into his other strengths in his game. So I'll let Jake take it from here. But Jake, appreciate you doing this, man.
Awesome, Joe. Thanks for having me. And Peter, yeah, that's awesome. I'm loved watching it grow from SolarWise to Virtuoso, and really love what you built there. And when we talked about virtual solar sales, there's multiple different ways. There's something like what Peter and Josh have, where you're getting your leads virtually, you're sitting down virtually, and that's a great opportunity. I've been in the solar world for a little bit. I'll tell a little bit of my stories. I got solar back in my house in 2016 with Solar City back in the day, and I learned a lot from that experience. It wasn't necessarily the best experience. I didn't get the best return on my from the sale of my home. It didn't have the right sizing of it. So I experienced that side, and that's what's led me to actually create my solar company about a year after that. And I had a really unique business model. I had a lot of in-person events. It was a lot of home shows, farmers markets, things like that. And then when COVID happened, everything I had done, little door-to-door, all these things all went up just overnight. And I didn't have, I'd done some virtual, but even then people were just done. So all my in-person stuff stopped for a long time. And as I was rebuilding my business, I wanted to build a business that I could do from anywhere in the world. I want to be able to, if I'm traveling, wherever I'm at, I can sit down and I can pull up my laptop and I can get on a Zoom and meet with somebody and be able to discuss solar in there. Now, there's a couple things you want to make sure you're really clear about if you're selling solar virtually. You want to know what markets you're selling at. And this is a huge, huge issue, because if you're in Colorado, there's a lot of nuances to selling solar in Colorado. It takes a lot longer to get a permit here in Colorado than it can in a lot of Texas. A lot of Texas, you can get it in a week. So there is a change to where you're going to be building your solar sales processes and teams. It's a huge component to make sure you're thinking strategically where you're at. I always say, if you're in an area where it matters to you to build it locally, for me, I'm born and raised in Denver. So I want to make sure that I'm bringing solar continuously to Colorado, to the people and friends and family that I know. But I've also been networking here for a while. So it's a little easier in that sense, but I've been building over years my network to be able to just get the in-person referrals and from the friends and the friends and family and previous customers. So when we're talking virtual sales, for me, the goal is, and this is not talking about Peter or anybody on this call. This was obviously years ago, but and some of it still rings true. And anybody who's ever bought leads will probably understand that, you pay money for leads, you don't always get what you want. And I think anybody who's been in this business long enough and bought leads knows you sometimes will straight up lose money, thousands of dollars, and you'll never get those results, and you're not getting that money back. And that's always a risk. There's always a risk in some form or fashion when you have a process like Peter's. That'll give you a great way of hedging that and making sure you're protected. But my goal is less about getting the leads virtually. Mine is more about selling virtually. So how do I get my leads? Well, I can get some leads virtually, but if I'm picking an area, let's just say any state, you want to pick who are those referral partners, who can get me the leads. So rather than a door-to-door, or in some cases a lead gen where you have a 1 banana, 2 banana, 1 door, 1 customer, 1-to-1-to-1. I also want to spend my time finding where the bushels are. Who's the partnership I can create with somebody that by creating that one partnership, that person could potentially give me 5-10 customers. And each of those customers will give 2 to 3 referrals if you treat them right and you follow up the process and you create those systems. So for me, it's always been about building the lead sources separately than just virtual, but then selling virtually. Well, I also have other businesses. After COVID, I got my mortgage license to be able to help people that were going solar bundle it into their mortgage, because back when rates were 2%, it made 2 and 3%. It made sense to just bundle into your mortgage. It's a cash deal. System's paid off. You get the equity because the system's paid off, and now it's a much easier process, and it ends up saving people a lot. And you'll notice with a lot of the experts here, a lot of them will have other streams of revenue that they can offshoot from solar. They'll create a training platform. They'll create a lead gen source. You find a niche that works for you. So mine is, working in person, building those relationships, and moving on to the trust that's necessary. So when there is leads or that person knows somebody, you're that go-to person for solar. So people may or may not have heard, but there's a thing called a 10 by 10. You know, if you're building a wall and you just built one row of 10 studs, you know, that one wall will stand up a little bit, but you can't really build a house on top of it. So what you need is, well, it's a 10 by 10. So you need 10 rows of 10 studs in order to support the house. Well, business and leads is very similar. And, you know, some people had some very fancy stuff. I'm really, really simple here. To monitor. There we go. There we go. So I kept this very simple. And I'm only doing 7 here, but you can extend this out to 10. You can create all these different sources. But these are all different ways in which you can get leads. So I mean, I just put this together super quick. We can, you know, if you guys have ideas, we can add on to this like crazy. But let's just say digital. What are the different ways you can get a lead digitally? Well, you can get it from your website. You can get it from just organic Facebook and posts and sharing videos. You can get it from Instagram, LinkedIn. I mean, honestly, I've seen people that are doing surprisingly well on TikTok. You can do Google ads. You can find Facebook groups. Oh, you know, a really good one I'm going to say is even Nextdoor. So you can go to Nextdoor and ask where you can go and build those relationships with homeowners. There we go. Close up. Digital ads. You can do Facebook ads, Instagram ads. You can do a blog. So these are all just ways in which if you do these things, you start building up your SEO. You start building out and you start getting known. You're putting out content. I mean, the big key, if you're going to be virtual, you can also put out content. If you're not buying leads, and you want to build it organically online, you got to be putting out content of some sort. So a blog's a great way. Now, if you want to do in person, there's chambers of commerce. Almost wherever you're at, there's always a great chamber of commerce. They're great resources to connect to other business owners. This is one of the keys, and pretty much from here on, other than door to door and buy leads, but networking, strategic partnerships, and previous customers. Those are all people that you find a couple really trusted. Just trusted partners, people that trust you, they become your number one, what's the phrase? Raving fan. That's what I'm thinking of. You just get between a couple realtors, a couple roofers, a couple raving fans, and then they're going to give you all the leads that you can handle and then some. So BNI groups, Business Networking International, leads groups, meetups, home shows, farmers markets. I mean, you can just keep going in ways to do it. So these are all ways to generate leads. But then the key is, well, if I'm traveling across the country, if I'm Carlos and I happen to be in Colombia and I want to be able to do appointments, I know I can schedule it for those times. As long as I have Wi-Fi and a Zoom, I can meet those people. And so, but if you set the expectations for the homeowners that you're meeting and your referral partners that are meeting with you along the sales process and the lead generation process, when you set up to meet with them on Zoom, you make it sound like it's, and actually I'm going to pop off the share for a moment here. The key is you want to make it sound like, well, this is more of a convenience for the homeowner. Great. You still have to go through the same process of making sure both homeowners are there or all homeowners are there, of any homeowners, so that you're making that decision with all people, but you're setting them up for, hey, all you have to do is you have to be in front of your computer. You know, you don't have to clean up the house. You don't have to worry about things when you're door to door. And don't get me wrong, I've done door to door. I was really good at it. I think Carlos was talking about that as well. You can be really great at it, but the efficiency of when you're going from one Zoom meeting to another is a lot easier than if you're going from one home, you're driving to the next home. You have to kill time in between appointments if it wasn't scheduled right. If the appointment no shows, now you have to drive all the way back home or wherever to your office or have to go knock. You lose a lot of time in between. But if you're setting everything up to meet with somebody virtually, and for the homeowner, hey, we're going to make this super quick. I'll be able to share my screen with you and I'll walk you through the presentation. It makes it super easy for the homeowners. And then you're able to stack appointments back to back with buffer time, knowing how long it takes you to close with each homeowner. But now you're making yourself more efficient by not having to drive in between times for your appointments. I'm not going to get into, we got to get back into my screen share here. So I'm not going to jump into door-to-door or buy leads. I mean, there's other experts we have here that could talk a lot more about it. But these are, again, other ways you can get leads. But the big one I want to talk about now is how do you build a virtual solar business? And we talked a little bit about how to combine it. And this is what, similar to Peter, I have a solar division in a box kind of methodology. And it's a strategic partnership. You find I'm going to give a couple examples here: roofers, electricians, mortgage lenders, other trades, realtors, and all those tradespeople and the realtors. These are all people that have their ideal customer in their database. And I'll give an example for realtors. A realtor has sold a home to somebody. Average homeowner doesn't move for 5 to 8 years. So the 7 years have gone by. And the best part is all their previous homeowners that have been in their home, that realtor's client database, their Rolodex, is a gold mine for potential solar. So rather than trying to say, hey, give me the leads and I'll sell it for you, you can partner. And I mean, there's a lot of ways to do this, but you can create a partnership with that realtor and create hey, you're a realtor. How about I help you build a solar business? Hey, I'll do the solar sales, but you have the relationship with the client. And then you combine it together where now you're helping sell solar. They don't have to learn all the nuances of solar themselves, but now they're just going to keep handing you leads, and you create a way of creating that partnership. And that's a way where you can create your own solar in a box, your own solar company, but not just for you, but you can hand it to somebody else, and they're handing you the leads, you do the sales, and now that's a real opportunity for a strategic partnership.
I think that's a huge point, Jake, and thanks for dropping nuggets, because it's about building relationships. And when you go in virtual, those relationships become even greatly more important. And I think that you really hit on that. So I'm going to keep moving along because I don't want to get too long-winded with the webinar here. But Carlos Villanueva, you're going to be coming up a couple of minutes, so to hold on. But I want to bring on my boy Dillon Denha and talk about his new what he's doing now, sellsolarremotely.com, and get on his calendar. Dillon, man, you've been so passionate, so excited telling me about what you're doing with your call center background, smoothly entering the solar industry and crushing it. This is your stage. Tell everybody what you're doing and how's going on, man.
Yeah, sweet, man. Thanks, Joe. Thank you for having me. A lot of good stuff on this webinar. So I'm going to go ahead and present. Let me share my screen with you guys. All right, cool. You guys could all see my screen, right?
Yes, sir.
Good, Joe? All right, I want to get the audience engaged a little bit. I just want to ask a question. Really, I want to understand a little bit more about why everybody's why. I know Miss Melissa Dawson talked about it a little bit, but really, what are you trying to gain out of this virtual webinar? I'm always curious. For some people, it's really the financial benefits. You want to really get that financial freedom. For some people like myself, it was kind of a personal fulfillment thing. I was at a period where I needed to adapt. The mortgage rates were going up. I needed to figure out an alternative route to keep my team moving and keep them selling. So I'm just curious, what does everybody got? What are we here for? What are we hoping to learn? And, overall, I think it's really trying to bridge the gap between what we don't know and what we aspire to learn about selling solar in the virtual landscape. So that's my goal, is to kind of help you guys with that. I'm going to walk you through and show you a quick overview of how we do our operation here. So selling and scaling solar really shouldn't be hard. I know Carlos kind of talked about it in the cons, but there's that capital intensiveness. There's the daunting task of trying to figure out which finance companies should I use? Which installers should I use? What type of proposal software should I use? Where should I get my leads from? A lot of the key points that everyone on this panel is touching on, but for a newcomer coming in, and that's kind of my situation, it was very daunting. And if I didn't have the drive to fight through, I could see why a lot of people would kind of just sit back and be like, I got to take a step back here. I don't want to dump all this money in and end up, falling on my face over and over. So the good news is that it doesn't have to be that hard. There is a better way to get it done, and that's kind of what I want to show you here. Basically, what we've created is a turnkey business platform that really makes it easy for all the different players to jump in and really kind of, from the manufacturers to the sales reps, all of that to get the sales enablement, project fulfillment, and the administrative control that you're looking for. So how does it all work? Here specifically, I'm actually in the sales office. It's 9 o'clock almost here in Michigan, but basically what we do, we start with our lead set and we plug the leads into our world-class dialer called Vici Dial. You can see the little image on the right. It has a preset client's name. Vici Dial is really nice. What it does is it gives you smart DID area codes. So when your team or yourself as an individual is on the sales call, you are actually showing up as a localized area code in that client's specific area code. The chances of them answering the phone are much higher because if you're a 248 area code like myself, and I get a call that's a 248 area code, I'm more likely to pick up the phone. So Vici is the starting point, and it's a really nice tool. Vici has call monitoring, call reporting, and we also have an API integration that connects directly to our CRM, which is the next step. We get the client from Vici Dial. That client auto-populates into our CRM. With our CRM, there's a built-in calling and texting feature. So a lot of times our appointment setters are the ones nurturing, trying to find the clients on the dialer. When they get the client, they put them into the CRM or they find them in the CRM, shoot them a message to get their power bill. And then we have a calendar integration to where we can assign that client to the closer in our situation. We have a setter closer model. Setters find the clients, closers close the deal. So once it's the closer's turn to get, their shot at the client, we don't just let them run and gun. We found that everybody has their own style, and the conversion is not as good when people are just kind of freestyling their way through. So what we have is a slide deck. It's a proven presentation slide deck. You can see some of the images there on the right. But the slide deck is really nice because not only does it build rapport, it helps explain a lot about solar. It addresses a lot of the common objections that you deal with homeowners. Helps engage the audience because there's the pictures, the small text to go with it, guides you through the complexity of solar, and it helps make it very simple. This also allows you to maintain structure, and what we have found is that it really helps scale a sales team. I have probably 20 seats in here, and letting my closers get their hands on this slide deck was one of the best things that we did because we noticed that the conversion increased by a lot just by having them use this slide deck rather than, going through and kind of just handling the call however they want to handle it. From that slide deck, that's where we spend majority of our time. We then go into our design and proposal system. A lot of you are familiar with, Solo or Aurora, but essentially here is where we just kind of talk about the design with the homeowner. We make it a really interactive experience. The homeowner can tell us where they want panels, where they don't want them. Obviously, we do our job of explaining where the maximum production is going to be. But after we go through the design, we then get into the numbers. After the numbers, if everything looks good and we have the green light, then we go ahead and see if they're going to get approved so that we could deploy a site surveyor to their property to make sure that their system is actually a go for solar. So through this software, we're able to not only approve the clients, but we can generate the docs, send the docs, and we'll know that the docs have been signed. And that's usually when everybody in the office gets, the claps going, cheers, whatever it is. It's a good time. Now, what happens next? All right, deal is sold. This is another one of those cons and another complexity that kind of, scares people from getting into the industry. After you sell a deal, what we have is a lot of back-end team and project fulfillment that's going to help you take that project to the finish line. If you sign 100 deals and none of the deals get installed, it doesn't really matter because we get paid when the deal gets installed. So our back-end project fulfillment team will help schedule site survey, initiate final design, get permit approval, utility approval, all the way to PTO. They will communicate not only with us, but with the homeowner so that everybody is in the loop on exactly what's going on. We want to make it as simple and easy as possible. A lot of the complexities I've already dealt with, and our platform, again, is a turnkey solution-based platform that allows you to just plug in and hit the ground running. We have the leads, we have the CRM, we have the proposal tools. It's just basically press go, dedicate yourself, and you can hit the ground running. So, you know, whether you're an individual, whether you are a enterprise system, company of people trying to get in, like a mortgage office, you know, a roofing company, there's a great opportunity that we have here in front of us. And tapping into a turnkey solution-based platform will allow you to shorten the learning curve, be way more profitable, and take total control over what it is that you're trying to accomplish. I've been doing it for a long time. Joe will tell you, he taught me pretty much everything that I know about the solar space. He really got me on my feet. I'm happy to help anybody who's looking to get in, kind of struggling with that whole learning curve. What you could do if you're at home and you're tuned in, just go ahead and scan that QR code. It'll take you to sellsolarremotely.com. You'll have a direct link to my calendar page. Pick a time. Let's get on. Let's chat. Let's hear about what you're doing, what your struggles are, and figure out how exactly we can help you out so that you could be selling solar and really taking advantage of this opportunity.
Hell yeah, bro. So I know Dillon knows this
point, Joe.
Say it again.
Tried to keep it short and sweet and to the point.
No, you did, man. You hit it. That was fire. And everybody knows, just make sure you know that he knows this stuff. He's been trained. He knows what to say. He has scripts. Like, he has the whole 9 yards. But real quick, what does it cost? What are they going to find out later when they go to sell solar remotely and make any, a date on your calendar? What is it going to cost them?
Yeah, so that's the nice thing about it. It's not gonna cost anything to have the conversation. If you decide that you want to tap in, you can get a seat for anywhere from $45 to $99 a month. We'll help you get situated. There will be a whole training center, get certified. There's actually certifications, and we'll guide you all the way through the process. You had mentioned the scripting too. That's a big thing. We have scripts. Our scripts convert 1 out of 15 on our warm transfers and 1 out of 85 on our shared leads. It's just about, like I keep saying, staying consistent, trusting the process. And if you do that, then, I'm confident in saying it'll work, because I was somebody that came in not knowing anything, and here it is working for us now. So
yes, trust the process. And the first step of the process is go to sellsolarremotely.com and get on Dillon's calendar. Let's go, baby. Appreciate you being on here, Dillon.
You got it, man.
So real quick, Carlos, you're going to come up next, but I want to do a big announcement, a little announcement to everybody. Like, I wasn't planning on doing this, but it happened just today. I actually am partnering up with the Super Connect. We worked out a deal. We are going to be helping the brand. But this is Jake McDonald. He's going to talk a little bit about some tips on staying compliant, selling virtually, and talk a little bit about the Super Connect and annualusage.com. But Jake, please give us a few minutes, drop some nuggets for us, and talk a little bit about what we're doing with annualusage.com. Oh, you're on mute, bro. Sorry about that. I should have told you earlier.
Sorry. All right. I appreciate you having me, Joe. We want to make sure, obviously, you wanted to bring the value to everybody here today. We have something really special for you guys. But before we get started, I kind of just wanted to be able to offer some value to you guys as well while I have some time here with you. I've been training salespeople in the solar space for a little over a decade now. And, what we're actually looking at with virtual is the fact that we're not able to build the same type of trust that we are in a home, because we don't have that nonverbal communication. We're not in front of somebody. We don't have that emotional resonance. We're not able to look somebody in the eyes. We're not able to have the body language, right? So we have to find a way. How do we how do we get that trust built? And so what I found is one thing that helps with this a lot is the breadcrumb method, right? Most of you guys, if you're selling virtually, you're doing a 2-step call, a discovery call, and then a closing call. I think a big thing that people leave out is the space in between. A lot of times they're doing the discovery call, they're handling all the hard questions, the objections, handling all of the, maybe some of the tax credit, the materials, things like that. And then they're moving, saying, hey, I'm going to have a design ready for you. Then they're moving into a closing call, but nothing's happening in between. And I think the in-between space is a major point of focus that if you guys are feeding them what I call the breadcrumbs, right, which are the things that make people want to ask buying questions, you have a lot better results. You have somebody that's hungry and thirsty for your information, and they're excited to hop on this call. It creates a sense of urgency. So something I would highly suggest is in between those 2 calls, drop a screenshot. Don't ever email your customer their proposal. Don't give them access and control to the proposal. Give them a small screenshot of their 25-year savings. Give them a small screenshot of their carbon offset. Give them some small screenshots and some things that can be beneficial that will make them excited and want to know more and want to ask you buying questions. Okay. The second thing is that there are 2 definitions of sales, right? There's an emotional sale and a logical sale. An emotional sale is just a simple transfer of emotion, right? If I can get you to feel the way I feel about something, then I've sold you, right? The logical side of the sale is I'm making a decision for the homeowner in a way that the homeowner is so comfortable with, they're convinced that they made the decision themselves. Now, to do that, I know that I have a fiduciary responsibility, right? I know that I need to be able to leave this customer in a better position than I found them. So as long as I know that I'm doing them a positive, I'm doing them a net positive, then I can do whatever I need to get them to go forward with me, right? So when it comes to virtual, you have to match the emotional and the logical sale. Both of those things have to happen, because if you just have an emotional sale, you're going to have a super high closing percentage, but you're also going to have a high cancellation rate, because somebody's going to think, holy shit, I just spent $60,000 over a Zoom call. What am I doing? Right? So you have to back that up with logic, right? And you have to be able to get both of those things in. So I would highly suggest, again, whether it's training, I see a lot of familiar faces on here, Melissa, Peter, a lot of people that I know in the space. There's tons of people with great training. I just make sure that you guys reach out, to any of us and get further information on how to connect those 2 things, right? Because that's a huge place where I see people fail in the virtual space. So, make sure you're connecting those 2 things. And then at the end of the day, right, compliance is what we're looking for, right? Our entire process is just to get the homeowner compliant with what it is that we're doing, right? We want to get them compliant with the appointment setting process, compliant with hopping on a Zoom call, compliant with sitting down at their computer or on a phone call without distractions, so that they can actually pay attention to what it is we're doing. So really, a virtual sale is mostly about just getting them to comply with the process, because we all know that, pricing now and the way that everybody's selling, like, the numbers are going to make sense in most cases, right? The numbers are going to make sense. So it's really just about getting somebody to comply with your process, right? And an object in motion stays in motion until acted on by another force. So the more small yeses you can get, the more small agreements you can get, right? Those lead to bigger agreements. And so Super Connect, and some of you guys may be aware of Super Connect, some of you may be something brand new to you, but what we do is we provide 12 months of accurate utility data with the click of a button. It allows you to access all of the homeowner's utility data so that you can build a 100% accurate proposal without having to do any guesswork, without having to have them text you or email you pictures of their bill that sometimes come through blurry. Sometimes they don't come through at all. Sometimes they send you a picture of the wrong piece of the statement, right? And you're always trying to track down information. Sometimes you're trying to build a system based off of one bill. And with the studies we've done, we found that sometimes those are more than 30% incorrect with the system size without having 12 months of accurate data, when you're using just other maybe softwares that pull averages and things like that. So what we do is we provide 100% accurate data with the click of a button. Now, in that process, it helps your customer be compliant. What we found is that there's a higher closing percentage on our virtual calls for the customers that actually are compliant and do a Super Connect link versus the customers that say, no, I'll just send you a picture of the bill, right? We have a higher closing percentage of people who are doing this. So not only does it help you close more deals, not only does it make your process easier because you're not sifting through a bunch of information, not only does it make your proposal more accurate, so that 3 or 4 months down the road, when your customer is actually experiencing solar, right, your job was over. You made your commissions, you got paid, right? And now you got somebody calling 3 or 4 months down the road. Hey, listen, I'm upset because I still have a $60 electric bill, right? You no longer have to worry about that because you know that you're building the proposal and the design exactly the way you need it. So everybody who's on the webinar today, you guys can get a free trial. What you're going to do is go to annualusage.com. Click on whatever option you want there. We have 3 packages that are ready to purchase right away. These packages are super cheap. They start at $50, and that's kind of for an individual rep. They go all the way up to enterprise levels. I mean, we have, guys who are doing tens of thousands of connects on a monthly basis, right? So it really just depends on where you're at, right? We have a package pretty much to fit everybody. The connects themselves are super cheap, as well as the fact that we only charge when you actually get a connect. So you could send out this link hypothetically to 10,000 homeowners. If 100 of them submit their connect, you're only paying for 100 connects. So we have people that use this in their lead generation. We have people who use this in their appointment setting, and we have people who use this on the actual sales call and the sales presentation. Once you have signed up for your 7-day free trial, you're going to get an email that has your login, so you can log into your dashboard. If I can share my screen with you real quick, it'll take 2 seconds here, and I'll show you exactly what it looks like. Well,
if you just click on present and then switch to Windows, you'll see the choices.
yeah,
It's all right.
It
happens.
Well, so if you go to annualusage.com, there's our demo video. This is what I was going to show you. You'll see the dashboard. I was just going to show it to you in real time. But if you go to annualusage.com, just scroll down, you'll see the video. It'll actually show you. But what we do is every single time you get a connect submitted, it's going to come back. It's going to give you aggregated data for 12 months. So it's going to show you 12 months of total annual usage, 12 months of total payments, the average monthly usage, the average monthly payment. It's also going to show you each individual month separated, and then you're going to get 12 months of downloadable PDF files. So you have all your PDF files already ready to go that you can send off for PTO. You can send off to your finance company. You have everything you need in one place. And, Joe's worked out something special to give everybody on this webinar a free trial. Just go to annualusage.com and sign up. Once you guys sign up, you'll get an email, set up your account. You'll also get a Calendly link to do a training with me that I'll show you guys how to implement this into your business in whatever way you want, whether that's all the way on the front end as lead generation or whether it's all the way at the sales process. Whatever works for you guys, we'll show you how to get all your customers compliant with it. And, get everybody connected and, if we're doing everything else virtual, there's no sense in having paper bills, right?
Woo, hell yeah. Just because everybody know, I don't know if you know, Jake, I've been using the Super Connect since 2020. Since the beginning days.
You're one of the first 100 for sure.
Yeah, man. So I've been using it and proud of what you guys have been doing. And I'm really excited about this new partnership we're doing. We're going to be doing more and more events talking about it. But guys, go to annualusage.com. It's amazing. If you can literally get the homeowner's information with a click of a button, and it's affordable. It's amazing. You can add it to your CRM. You can add it to your AI. You can add it to your whole streamline of everything you're doing. So it's amazing. So Jake, I appreciate you. Carlos, I know you've been waiting, bro. I have to get him on here. Jake, you're the man, bro.
Joe, thank you so much. Appreciate you.
All right, Carlos, I know you've been waiting so long, bro. I know you've been telling the person, 5 more minutes. I can see you.
It's all good, my man. It's all good. Dude, I'll do anything for you, my man. I love Solar Joe.
All right, bro. I want to give you stage, man. Take it off.
Love it. So this is going to be like a rapid fire. I'm going to run through exactly what we've put together. But first of all, I just want to say thanks to Solar Joe for what you do in the industry. I've had the Facebook group Sales Talk Solar Pros for a long time, about 7 years. But watching Solar Joe, blow up his group to 25K with all the live stream engagement, that gave me the inspiration to do it for our group as well. So you guys may know me from Remote Solar Pro. So what we do is we teach door-to-door reps how to transition onto the doors, and also from Sales Talk from Solar Pros, living the remote lifestyle. So as I said earlier, some of the pros of selling solar remotely is so there's 3 pillars, right? There's health, wealth, and relationships. When we get into solar, we pretty much tick the box with wealth. because we're on the doors like all day, every day, we tend to skip like the two other really important pillars, which is health, which is like, eating well, going to the gym, focusing on fitness, because we're spending a lot of our time, knocking and being inside customers' homes, driving between appointments, etc. The third thing is relationships. So, I spent a long time putting my relationships on hold because I needed to look after wealth and then trying to, prioritize my health as well. So what I'm trying to say is, because I was prioritizing my wealth, everything else was almost on the back burner. The other big problem that I saw with remote sales when I got into it, it was really, really capital intensive. So you need to have money to be able to live remotely. You need to have money to be able to invest in the entire system to, set up, to buy leads, set up the CRM, set up the dialer, set up your team, recruit, all that stuff. So what I did is I actually partnered with another titan inside the solar industry. His name is Nick Borelli. If you guys know him, drop a fire in the comments. His organization is doing 50 plus deals a month, completely remote. He lives in an awesome pad up in the East Hamptons in New York. And we put together remotesalespro.org. Okay. The problem that we're solving is the barrier of entry to getting into Remote Sales Pro. So what we do is we provide the dialer. We've preloaded it with 350,000 leads. Anyone that knows, like, even if you're buying the cheapest leads possible at $1 each, that's a lot of money. So it's almost over $500,000 worth of leads inside the dialer. There's one login, right? You log in once and you access all of our installers. Now we're not using like a blanket installer or anything like that. We've literally partnered with local installers, but we've integrated it all into one platform. And so you only need one login. Like Josh said, you don't need like multiple logins and platforms and all that sort of stuff. The training, we include all the training in there as well. Like if you guys, have been following me for a while, and Brendan just dropped a fire because he's actually in the program, signed up this week. We include all the sales training in there. We've got a management team. We will close the first 6 deals for you as well without you guys having to share your commission. There's no 50-50 splits, nothing. And it's only $199 every 2 weeks. So it's like less than $100 a week. Like this is crazy. We've reduced the barrier for anyone to literally, jump into remote sales without having to make all of the massive investments themselves. Results matter. So one of the guys who jumped on board last week, he closed 2 deals already, an 11.77 kilowatt system and a 16.7 kilowatt system. So what's that? It's almost 30 kilowatts, right? Or 27 kilowatts in total in his first week. So if you guys are interested in joining, go to remotesalespro.org/apply. It's just under my name there, under Carlos Villanueva. We run a webinar every single Wednesday where we break down the whole opportunity. And yeah, Joe, once again, man, thanks for having me on, brother. Oh, you're on mute.
I knew that. I wanted you guys to read my lips for a second. So I just want to say thank you, and I appreciate you, what you're doing with the sales talk with Solar Pros. You're making me want to get back my game up more. I see the guests you're getting and the trainings you're doing and the value you bring in the community. I want to do the same thing. So we'll keep working together, keep collaborating, okay?
Love it, my man. I'm going to shoot off because my Uber's here, but thanks once again for putting this all together, my man.
So next we have on stage Melissa Dawson. Thank you guys for waiting. If you guys are enjoying this whole webinar, go ahead, put some thumbs up, some fire emojis, some thanks or whatever it is in the comments, so we know that you guys liking this content. And we have only a few more minutes, so we're going to bounce out of here. So this is not going to be much longer, but I wanted to have Melissa get on stage a little bit here and talk about her experience selling virtually and recruiting virtually. She started virtually, I think, like 8-10 years. I don't even know how long ago.
2016.
2016, same as me. So she's been doing this for a very long time, virtually the whole time, because she had to, living in Idaho. So I don't want to take any more of your time. The stage is yours.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much. I tell you, this whole webinar has just been jam-packed with so much info. So stoked that everybody could be here together and really unite as a solar industry. For those of you that might not know it, you might be thinking, gosh, why are all these people getting on a webinar when they should be in competition with each other, right? Well, I operate in a not scarcity mindset. So for those of you that don't know, right now there are 87 million homes available in the United States for solar. So there's just plenty of pie to go around. My biggest advice to everybody right now is find a good mentorship program, a good business program, because really the solar coaster can be pretty lonely sometimes. So if you're in that kind of partnership with somebody that's going to be coaching you on how to sell solar, that has the CRM, has the dialer, perfect example, Dillon that was on here. He has what we call like a soup to nuts, almost like a solar franchise, where he can really give you every piece that you need along the way. Virtual sales have come so far. When I was got started in 2016, the company that I was with and currently with, Power, we were at $250,000 in sales, $250,000 in sales. Fast forward to last year, we did $323 million in sales, and right now we're pacing for $450 million in sales. I'm telling you this because you guys are all looking at selling at virtual right at the right time in your life, So if you really have that passion for that location freedom, like one of my very favorite places that I've ever sold solar was in Iceland, like go sell wherever you want. If that's what you're yearning for is that location freedom. Or maybe you're sick and tired of getting in a metal box, driving in traffic to go door knocking or to go and like jump, do an appointment or something, like think about how many appointments that you can do virtually versus if you get in a car and drive. And, one thing that really helped our industry, I hate to say something good coming out of a pandemic, but when COVID happened, all of a sudden the world got real used to, talking online and having a conversation online. One of the biggest pieces of advice that I can give you is when you're online, talk to the person just like they're hanging out with you at their kitchen table, like just talk to that person, interact with them, get to know them, and make sure to like find a personal note about them. If they talk about their kids playing basketball, put that in your CRM. If you don't have a CRM, then drop that in their contact list. So every time when you call them, you can say, hey, Martha, hey, how's Joey's basketball going? Connect with them on that human level. We really are in a high touch society. So the more that we can, connect with the homeowners, the better. So really there's just endless opportunities right now in the virtual space. Like I said, 87 million homes right now are available for solar. So really the question is for you guys, what are you waiting for? What do you need to get you over that? Like, do you need that person like Dillon and his team to help you out? What kind of mentorship do you need? From there, I brought it up at the beginning, and the most important thing I can leave all of you guys with is you have got to know your why. Why are you doing this business? For me, I wanted location freedom, time freedom. I wanted financial freedom. I put a picture of the dream property I wanted right on my phone. So every time I picked up the phone, and if I got a no, I still had that dream property. So I was relentless in my pursuit. Fast forward today, I'm absolutely living in my total dream home, living my life by design because I had that unstoppable mindset. So I believe in all of you guys on here, girls, everybody on here. You guys can all kick some serious ass with virtual selling. You just got to make that commitment and go for it. Solar Joe, I'm going to pass the mic back over to you.
Yeah, I saw your house that you built, and that is an amazing house and accomplishment. I saw the whole process. So congratulations on that and your whole career. And also representing women in the solar industry. You've been doing it for so long, and I'm really proud of that fact too. So great job.
Awesome. Well, thank you. And if anybody wants to connect with me on social media, I do life by design stuff. So give you that positive affirmations on Instagram. I do all sorts of business developments on my podcast. If you want to check me out, it's melissadawson.com. So melissadawson.com. Also, if you want to book a business development with me, my passion is absolutely solar business development, especially with the home service industries, really teaching them how to seamlessly add solar to their current portfolio.
Yeah, I agree with that. I was just talking to Melissa today about it, and she is knowledgeable. Let's just put it that way. Appreciate you, Melissa. See you again. Okay.
Bye, thanks.
All right. So I have to get Jess Reagan here. He's been so patient, and I really appreciate the guy. This is one of the good guys in the industry, and he took a position at Gamify, and I'm super excited about what he's doing over there. And I talked to him. I was like, bro, like, what is gamification going on in the virtual soul industry? And he was just like, this. I was like, you know what? Stop. Just told the whole soul industry. So I want to give you 5 minutes. Just take it as your stage.
Hey, thanks so much, Joe. So first off, appreciate you guys and thanks for hanging out. You guys can follow me here or book a demo. So if there's anything we don't get to today, just let me know. So my history has been, specifically in recruiting and sales performance. And this last year before I moved to Gamify, I recruited close to $97 million to a solar network. And since I've been at Gamify, I've grown that company 300%. And the secret sauce is relationships. And like Joe said, it's really important to me to be genuine and to be authentic, and building relationships is everything, a lot like what Melissa was talking about. And so for me, relationships on your team is what I wanted to talk about for just a few minutes. Building and scaling teams across the US virtually can be difficult. And so a lot of the tools that we've been introduced to have been absolutely incredible. So thank you to the speakers for those of you who have shared. The sales performance tool with Gamify is really simple. And I'm going to show you quick because I know you guys have been hanging out here for a long time. And I really, really appreciate you. So let me see if I can do this. And if I can't, it's going to have me do let's see, present. Share
Just present and then share. Yeah, and then go to Windows usually.
Okay, cool. I'll just do this for now. I'm going to show you guys you guys can book a demo on here. But Gamify Here to Win, it's a sales performance tool. And so we have a reward center, canvassing and lead follow-up. And so if you're doing a combo of both, virtual and on the doors, we integrate with most of the systems that you guys are using. I hear Go High Level, quite a bit this evening. And so we'll integrate with that. But here's the biggest thing. You can create incentives and competitions in less than 3 minutes from your phone, tablet, or computer. And so if you're scaling across the US and you want to have point systems that have rewards, we also have fulfillment coming. That's a really big announcement. That means that when you get onto our platform and you choose a prize like the Apple AirPod Pros or Nike shoes or what have you, we will also help you fulfill on those prizes. So you're not having to store them in a back closet somewhere. So we make that really easy. We have some really cool partners. So hop on there and schedule a demo there. And what I mostly wanted to say is, let me see, stop sharing. What I mostly wanted to share today is, outside of getting on and talking to us a little bit more, is that scaling, in order to scale a large system and large sales across the US, you have to be able to track your metrics, which is what a lot of people are talking about. And if you can't gamify and incentivize those metrics outside of just cash, right? So gamification, there's some really great studies on this. There's obviously intrinsic, which means that's something that we have just internally. We're internally driven. And I would say that most people on this call are probably intrinsically motivated, right? Like we just have that drive. Your love language might just be achieving, right? Or your drive language is what I call it. Outside of that, you might have an extrinsic, which is like getting a gift or a prize or being part of a club or going on a trip. And so generally we have these Google Sheets and we have CRMs and we have all these things full of prizes and ideas and levels, and our reps never see it. They don't get a chance to actually hold it in their hands, see when they earn points, see when they level up. And so it's really, really exciting to be able to watch your progress. I got a text today. I have my sales team on it. And I got a text today that said, Jonna just passed you. And it's just like a notification that pops up from Gamify. I saw that notification and I ran to my computer because I'm like, there's no way that he's freaking beat me today. And so it really, really motivates you, encourages you to have high production, high revenue, and to increase what you're doing. So thanks so much for the time, Joe. I'm just going to keep it short and sweet. Love you guys and appreciate you. Reach out. Follow me and we'll talk.
Definitely. And it's amazing what you're doing with Gamify. That's to me so important is community. And that's one of the hard things of virtual solar is that sometimes you feel like a lone wolf. And when you could join a gamification or esports, we're coming up next. Garrett, you've been so patient. Jess, really appreciate you doing this, waiting so long and dropping some nuggets for us. You're the man.
Of course.
All right. Last but not least, everybody, the super patient Garrett Mendelsohn. Thank you so much. We have a couple of people like, where's Garrett? Is Garrett going to even talk? They're like, of course. I saved you last for a reason because people love talking about sports. So, like, hey, the esports guys come up next. You better wait for them. So that's so strategic, okay? But Garrett, what you're doing is amazing. The esports and the competition, SBU Live. Please, I want you to drop it. Let people know what's going on and how they can join you.
Yeah. Thanks for having me. What's up, everyone? So I'm gonna go through this like super quick. But essentially, my history, I was in door-to-door for 5 years. I got out last year, and I always felt the competitive edge in door-to-door. So just like the last guy was saying, that it's that gamification aspect of it. So earlier this year, actually after SolarCon, we had this idea to build a esports platform, and we started building it from complete scratch. And what we wanted to do was put the door-to-door competitive element of solar, but on a platform. Since then, it's completely evolved into a sales and esports live streaming platform that we put together, and we have a huge roadmap. So I'll give you a little bit of a demo of what that looks like right now. So I'm going to share my screen really quickly. Okay, let's see here. So right here, as you guys can see, this is the platform we integrated solarbootcamp.ai. So that's actually our training platform for anyone that doesn't know, where we actually show and teach how to go from door to door to entirely virtual. So we actually integrated this into the platform. But long story short, we have our install partner. We're in 30 plus states. We cover everything in house, which is cool. We have a tournament tab where you can actually schedule tournaments. And we have a huge roadmap in this. So we have like our goals to have like, teams, orgs, people, competing, having tournaments. There's going to be prizes, money, betting, all that stuff. You got a streaming tab where you can stream yourself. So if you wanted to broadcast yourself selling, you can go do that. There we go. You can also, we have a metaverse. So let me see if I can share my other screen. So if you could see this, so we got the metaverse where you can watch the tournaments within the metaverse, so you could actually walk around and stuff, which is kind of cool. So what else is there? So we also have the ability to, this is the university we have as well, so Solar Bootcamp as well. And then on top of that, you can recruit, you can build a team, you can have 7 levels down, have a custom referral link. You can do solo where you just sell yourself. But the whole idea is we're going to have a lot of people live streaming in here. Like there's David. What's up, Dave? What's up, Dave? We'll have a lot of people live streaming in here, so you can go watch. You can be you can be entertained. You can learn. And just like earlier, Carlos, Josh King, they were saying, virtual solar, you feel like you're alone. But with this, our goal is to make it so we have a community, to make it so you feels like you're actually part of something. So you log in, you see people streaming, you can go watch, get motivated, stream yourself. And then, we're going to gamify it with, prizes, incentives, and all that fun stuff. So we're just taking the esports of, video games, the esports, the competitiveness, and just packaging it into a solar platform where you can sell, you can recruit, you can live stream, you can train, you can do pretty much, everything like that. And for anyone that's wondering, it's $49 a month for the solo account, and then $99 a month to build a team, which you can have 7 levels down of overrides, which is pretty cool. But that's really all I wanted to share. I wanted to go through this really quickly because you guys have been super patient here, and I do appreciate this. And thanks for hosting the event.
Hell yeah, that's amazing. So what's the link? What's the domain? How do they join? What's the place to go?
Yeah, it's sbu.live. So like Solar Bootcamp University.live. So sbu.live.
Hell yeah. Appreciate you, Garrett. First of all, being patient, getting through that, and then dropping some fire. Yeah, I think people are just like, what? I didn't know that was even going on. What? Esports competitions? That's amazing. So thank you so much. All right. So we are wrapping up now. I want to bring everybody on stage. Get Peter, get Josh, get Jace, get Dillon, get Jess. We were supposed to do a little Q&A. I think we a little ran out of time, but I want to just do one last round just to get everybody's thoughts before we bounce. Just what's your last thought and how can somebody reach out to you? And we'll start from the top first. Garrett Mendelsohn.
Yes, you guys can reach me at solarbootcamp.ai. You can find me on Facebook just searching my name, Garrett Mendelsohn. You can go to my website as well, and then sbu.live.
Melissa Dawson.
87 million homes are available for solar. So if you guys want to, seamlessly add solar to your current portfolio, you want to learn just how to do this or have some business talks, whatever you want to do. I love to talk solar business development. You can book a call with me on my website, melissadawson.com.
All right. Awesome. Jake Wilson. You're on mute. You knew that already, right?
My favorite thing I would say is just the takeaway of how many different ways there are to approach this industry in a way to find one's own self-expression. So I just was really impressed and just amazed by all the different stories shared. You can reach me in Facebook at Jake Wilson. You can search consciousec.com as our website. Or if you ever want to meet about any of the things that I do, you can go to meetingjake.com and schedule a time to meet.
Amazing. Peter Roth.
Hey, thank you once again for all of this, guys. And by the way, kudos to everybody on this panel. I mean, I was legitimately impressed by everybody here. So thank you to all of you guys. I'm going to be reaching out to some of you because I think we can all help scratch each other's backs for sure. If you guys, but just so you guys know, there's so many cool things that I left out of this kind of by design. So I wanted to kind of drop this little thing here at the very end. So if you want to book a demo with me, just go right here, millionairesolarpro.com. And I'm going to, again, taking off the $500 startup cost that goes away. And I'm going to show you all the really other cool little hidden features that I didn't get to mention today.
Awesome. Exciting. And Josh King. You're mute.
I'm muted. Short and sweet. I've sold solar on every continent on the planet. I've traveled the world, going to Dominican Republic in about a week with Joe. I love that lifestyle, and our platform enables people to do that. Training software. Check it out. Book a strategy call with the crew. Sunivo.com, sunivo.com, or through virtualsolar.club. Help you out, get in the right direction. Let's travel the bloody world and sell some solar.
All right, let's go with Jess Reagan.
All right. So my biggest takeaway from this is, seeing a lot of you that have come from different backgrounds and door-to-door and virtual sales and network marketing and everything that you've accomplished. What this has taught me is the ability to reinvent yourself and, look at the evolution of our industry and how far we've come and how we're able to change your lives and change other people's lives by being able to, like Josh said, travel the world, do what you want to do. What an incredible opportunity. So thank you to you guys for showing me what it looks like to reinvent and to evolve. You guys can set up a demo at gogamify.com, or follow me on our website, and I can show you the full platform. I ran through it really quick today. So do a demo so I can show you the whole thing.
And Dillon Denha.
Thanks, Joe. Thank you to everybody on this panel. Great job. Very insightful. Let's keep learning and keep pushing the ball forward. If you guys want to connect, sellsolarremotely.com. Very happy to help anybody who's committed and, wants to take a ride on the solar coaster.
Really appreciate all you guys. And I'm going to start doing some more of these webinars, bringing amazing guests on. I have some amazing guests coming up. I don't know if you guys know this guy named Chris Doe, but he has over 2 million subscribers, and he's one of my favorite influencers. And he actually said yes to an interview. He's going to be on the next week's webinar on Thursday. Do not miss that. But I got other amazing guests. I literally said, let me reach out to my 5 favorite influencers and see what happens. 3 out of the 5 said yes. So I got Jeremy Miner, Andy Elliott. I even got some of the other polarizing figures. Jason Waller is going to come on. So we got some great guests coming up in the next month. But this one has been really fun. You guys dropped so many nuggets, so much wisdom. I really appreciate y'all. You guys, let's do this again, all right? We are out. Peace.